the movie was just over. It was like, what the hell is this happening? I mean, it was literally 5 minutes long. 5.
But it was awesome.
Hi.
Greetings, Sound fans.
I'm Jessie.
It's Moon Boy.
And Jessie.
That's right. So, tonight we watched
Paranormal Activity.
2009's.
I think it was 2006.
It's 2009's Paranormal Activity.
I think it was 2006.
Nope. This is right there.
Oh.
2009, December 29th, 25th. I don't know.
But then look at Paranormal Activity, it says 2007. So
no, it does not.
It does. Like Paranormal Activity 2007, Paranormal Activity 2009. I think you're on the wrong one for this one.
No. It's the same one.
It's the wrong one.
Nope.
2 years difference? Really?
Yeah, somebody's wrong. So it could be either one.
I'm pretty sure it's 2006.
None of those things say 2006.
Anyway.
At any rate.
Moving on.
And we are
Moving on.
Anywho, we watched Paranormal
Activity.
It's kind of like around the Blair Witch era.
Yep.
Found footage films were kind of a new hotness.
Yep.
And this was one of the only good ones of the era. What do you think?
I thought it was really good. I thought, excuse me. I apologize. I'm really drunk.
Laura, I apologize.
Laura, I apologize. This was only the first movie, which I don't think was the only good one. You think this was the only good one?
No.
No. But I thought this one was okay. Like, this, for the first movie, it was awesome. It was really good.
Especially for the time.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think they get better as we go on, right?
Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, some of them get better and some of them get worse.
Yeah.
Depends.
Yeah.
But as far as this one goes, it's pretty good. IMDb has it as a 6.3 out of 10 stars. What does Rotten Tomatoes have it at? Audience score is 57%. I don't think I agree with that. I agree more with the
Tomato meter.
tomato meter.
You like tomato, and I like tomato, potato, patata, tomato, tomato. Oh, let's call the whole thing off.
Tomato. The critics at Rotten Tomatoes, they rate it as an 83%, which is more in line with my thinking, I guess.
Yeah, mine too.
It's a decent movie. It doesn't force the found footage thing in an unnatural way.
Right. It
'cause
doesn't.
There's really only one camera,
Yeah.
and they use it kind of where appropriate.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't typically film when there's no reason to film, like some of them do.
Right. Which I did find a little. It was kind of cool though, because they at one point, the guy who built the thing, the camera, he was like, "Okay, we're gonna find this ghost or whatever," and she's like, "Okay, whatever. We're gonna find this ghost that's been chasing me my whole life, but it's not really bothering me right now, or whatever, right? Or it's just only showing up every once in a while."
Well, it had just started recently again,
Right.
and that's why they were getting ready to like investigate.
Right. But for her, like he was saying, it's only shown up like a couple times. She was saying, like she had friends over and stuff like that, and the ghost would just then pop its head in. Maybe not. I don't think I'm talking right.
All right, so the story was like since she was 8 years old, she's
Yeah.
been haunted by this thing, kind of off and on.
Yep.
When she was a kid, it kind of burnt down her house.
Yep.
And they
She did say
moved,
that.
and then it kind of went dormant for a long period of time.
Not that long. I think she said it was 18. She was 8, and then she was 16. So it's like 8 years, but that's still a long time.
Sure.
Not that
But,
long, I guess.
you know, it's been off and on for years at a time. And this was kind of the start of something new, kind of like, I don't know, High School Musical started.
This could be the start of something new.
That's so cool. I can't think of it right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
What
don't
do you
know
give
else
it?
to say.
What do you give it?
I give it a.
Do you give it a 6.3, or do you give it an 83%, or do you give it higher or
I
lower?
give it a 7.
A 7. So what could have made it better for you?
What could have made it better for me was if they went out of the house at least once, which they never did. They had a camera in the house, so it didn't make sense for them to ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed odd to me there was only those two, and then that one girl that came to their house like twice.
Well, there was the psychic guy,
Yeah, that's true.
and he explained why they didn't need to leave the house,
True, and
because
then
it would just follow her regardless of where they went.
right, but then like another one, he came back again like twice, but I only saw him back twice for like 5 seconds. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I can't stay here." You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of a bummer, but
So I get the whole you can't run from it thing, right? It's gonna follow you wherever you're at,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. I get that, but
I do too.
90% of the stuff that was happening was at night,
Right.
right?
So it seemed
So
like all they
why
were
not
doing
just
was
become
sleeping.
like a long haul trucker and travel during the night and then sleep during the day?
That's what I said
When?
to you earlier.
Never.
So, he just can't hear me very well at night.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna kind of go with the whole like it follows type thing, where sure the demon can come after you, but you can kind of outrun it a little bit. And if you're like in a moving vehicle the entire time that it wants to haunt you, I think it's gonna have a problem. Kind of like, let's say you're driving down the road and it appears, and you're still driving down the road, and it has to appear again, and then you're driving down the road. It's going to keep like appearing and appearing and appearing, and
So you cannot ever sleep.
getting out. Well, you can sleep during the day when it's like not active,
How do you know it's not active during the day?
because we
when
saw
you're-
it in the movie. It wasn't really active during the day.
But that's only because they were not active during the day.
Well, it's worth a try.
So maybe that's the case. So
They
maybe
didn't try it.
Maybe they just wanted to be more active when they're not active. They just wanted to be active at 3 a.m. I don't know.
Who's they?
Those two, them two.
They didn't want to be. They wanted to be sleeping.
I know, which is crazy. They should be awake at 3 a.m.
No normal person should be awake.
You
at
were
3 a.m.
just saying they should be awake.
They should be awake to avoid the demon, right? But they shouldn't just be awake because it's fun, right?
I don't know, Nike. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Nike. I'm a baller.
It's a nice shirt you got there, babe.
Yeah, nice. Little Moon Boy logo there. Yeah. Anywho, yeah, I think for the most part, there's really nothing they could have done other than just get hosed like they did.
Yeah, I mean, I think this movie was definitely difficult to even review because all they really did was sit in their bedroom and get taunted over and over again. But
So, like, there was a couple of things that bothered me, like what I would have done different was I would have tried staying up all through the night and
For
just
sure.
tried traveling or whatnot. And B, I would have,
you have tried traveling?
yeah, at night, yeah, like I just explained.
Okay.
B, I would have called an exorcist or like a priest or whatever
Right.
and said, "Hey, come on, you know, the movie like this girl tries to call this expert demonologist, which is great and all if you can get a hold of him, but she couldn't.
Right, she only got a hold of the
So
ghost
there's
ship.
other solutions there. You don't have to just rely on the one demonologist that you know.
Right.
You can go to Google and look
right,
up
look up any
look up
millions of
more,
them.
especially in California where the whole state is like woo woo. I'm sure there's a few people there who believe that
I'm
they
gonna
can.
look in Yellow Pages.
Oh, you are? Okay, great. You could go to a church and say, hey, let me camp out here for a night because I think Satan's out to get me, or a
Mhm.
demon, or whatever. And they may or may not be receptive to your pleas, but it's something you could try. Rather than just saying, oh, I don't know what to do. Also, there was another thing that bothered me was there was a scene in this movie where she stands at the bed and she stares at her boyfriend for like 2 or 3 hours, which is fine.
She does that twice, doesn't she?
Sort of. The first time, though. So she's staring at him, just kind of just rocking back and forth, just staring for hours. And then it stops, and she turns and she walks to
The front yard.
the hallway or whatever. And then she goes down the stairs. And she is completely unaware of her actions at this point.
Right.
So she must be being guided by the demon. So if the demon wants her dead or wants her soul or whatever,
Right. Why didn't he just do it then when he had
at
it?
that point he could have just thrown her down the stairs instead of
Right.
having her walk down the stairs. I'm like, just throw her down the stairs. Just end it. Just freaking throw her down the stairs. And I want to
Right.
hear her neck crack or whatever.
Right.
And then the end. The guy wakes up and he freaks out because he sees her at the bottom of the stairs.
Right. Could be that in the movie. That would have been cool.
Yeah. It would have been short, but it would not have been as short as the first movie we watched.
I forgot about that. So I'm just gonna tell this story real quick, okay? So Andrew asked me when I came home, "Do you feel like reviewing a movie tonight?" I'm like, "Sure, of course. What do you want to review?" It's like this movie called Silence.
Still.
Still. I keep calling it the wrong name. He's like, "Still." I'm like, "Sure, let's watch it." So I put it on. I find it on Netflix, not
Mhm.
Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Hmm.
Find it on there. I'm like, play it. I'm like, okay, let's sit down and watch this movie. So we're sitting there and watching this movie. It ends after like 20 seconds.
Mm-mm.
It was like 30 seconds.
It was like 5 to 8 minutes. It was a short.
It was short. It was a very, very short. He didn't know it was a short, which made it really, really funny.
Right. I didn't know it was a short, but I read the reviews and I was like, oh, this looks awesome. The synopsis looked awesome. It was like this.
Teenage kid or whatever.
No, it was like this entertainer that you know when you go to like a major city and you see they've got these people who like do things for tips, and there's always that one statue guy who's like painted gold or silver or completely white like a statue, and they just like sit still and they pose for you and you take pictures with them and you tip them and whatnot. So this guy was one of those guys, and he was painted completely gold,
Gold.
and
His whole body was
at some
completely
point
gold.
during his shift, the zombie apocalypse comes, and
Comes and like completely takes over the whole world.
so
Like,
he is surrounded by zombies, and they don't realize he's there because he's a statue, and he has to figure out, how am I going to get out of this situation?
Right.
And
He's like,
I
have
read
no
the
idea.
synopsis of that, and I was like, that sounds amazing.
Amazing, yeah. It was.
And I saw all these awards that it had won. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's
So
like,
we watched it. It was literally like 5 minutes long.
was 5 minutes long?
And the guy won like probably 5 awards. I mean, it was really cool.
a lot more than 5.
Well, whatever. He probably won a crap load of stuff. But then the movie was just over. It was like, what the hell was this happening? I mean, it was literally 5 minutes long. 5.
But it was awesome.
It was awesome, but still, 5 minutes.
At any rate, it wasn't that short. This Paranormal Activity. It was an hour and 34 minutes.
Paranormal Activity was long.
Right, exactly.
Hour and 30.
But like,
26.
if she fell down the stairs, it would be shorter.
Oh, yeah.
Just not as short as Still.
Right. Very true.
Right. But it would probably been just as satisfying. I'd have been like, yeah.
I don't have a straw.
You don't have a straw. What? How did you drink that whole drink without having a straw?
I just noticed that.
Oh, tremendous. Anywho. So,
He loves me.
what
He
was your
loves-
best favorite part of the movie?
I think when she like got pulled out of the bed was the best. When she was like, what's his name? Nigel? No?
Micah.
Micah. When she was like, Micah, help! And he like jumps down and goes chasing after her and like grabs her and like pull her back and like fight the other guy.
Yeah.
That was the best, I think.
Did you relate to this movie at all?
Yes, absolutely, I did.
How so?
Because I have witnessed almost every single thing in that show as personally, like definitely, 100%.
Like what?
Like seriously, you want me to discuss this on the video?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so I have witnessed the whispering. I've witnessed more than what was in this movie. Okay, I've witnessed like it's like dark, but you can see like black things like flying across your room. Did you ever witness that in your room? And I witnessed something talking to me from down here on the side of the bed, like below, to where I had to like roll over and to get away from it. I witnessed some person like at the this was not even at this house, this is at the other house, the person that like pops up right in front of you and he looks like a fucking demon. Not even a demon, he was the mirror god. I can't speak right now. The mirror ghost, right? That looked just like a flat
shadow.
mirror. He looked like flat and he just like dissolved. And I was like, I mean, I know that sounds super weird, but yes, I absolutely believe that I saw him for sure. And I looked him up, remember, because I had never heard of anything like that. And I looked him up on my phone and I found exactly what he was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, that was so creepy. That was really creepy. But I've seen so many different things since we moved here to this house. But since we got Stitch, once we started closing the closet door, I haven't heard any of that anymore.
So it lives in the closet.
It does, I believe it does.
Or is it connected with something that's in the closet?
I don't know.
Like one of your t-shirts.
It might be one of your t-shirts that you've gotten rid of. You've gotten rid of a lot more shit than I have.
I don't know.
Let me just explain to you what our closet looks like. One side of our closet is like this long, and then this bottom is this long, and then my side is this long, and he's got the long and long. Yep. He doesn't care about me, I get the short. But he has way more clothes than me. It's obnoxious. No straw.
There's still no straw, yeah. So I enjoyed it. I
enjoyed it a lot too. Like I haven't seen this movie in probably 10 years or something.
That's because it came out 10 years ago.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. So it was cool that we watched this one again.
Yeah. I figured you probably wouldn't have remembered this movie very well.
No, I really didn't. I mean, I remembered some of it. Some of the scary parts I remember, but I didn't really remember what scary parts. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of it is just like you know vaguely what's going to happen because it's part of like pop culture now.
Right.
Right. You recognize the people in bed scenes and stuff and
right.
whatnot, but the series of Paranormal Activity, they all kind of link together in the long run, and we had to start at the beginning for you to really
we did
realize how everything ties in together, because it's even hard to realize how they all tie together when you're
watching
2 years apart
Yeah.
kind of thing. But now that they're all together, I think we need to watch them
right.
pretty quickly so we get it all.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like this one a lot. I think this is kind of one of those moments in cinema where it's a turning point. Kind of like Blair Witch. Blair Witch was like a flash in the pan where everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, but will it work? And Paranormal Activity is like the proof that found footage works or can work and be commercially successful. I don't know about the rest, but at least the first one was just like, okay, this is proof.
Yep.
I like it a lot. Would I watch it again? Yeah, because I've already watched it many times. How about you?
Yes.
Yeah, you get the hiccups? Wow. You had one drink, babe.
I know, but it was like, okay, my one drink was in a cup this big and it was full to here in vodka.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sorry. It was vodka and then it was like cranberry and orange, and that was it.
Was delicious.
It was.
Ooh,
I gotta stop burping.
All right. So, spoilers. There's some pretty cool scenes where, you know, the doors and stuff kind of like open and close, lights turn on and off. Kind of stuff that you can explain away until he starts putting powder on the floor.
And then there's footprints and
then
stuff.
there's like these demon-looking footprints. It's like, it's almost like handprints, but with 3 fingers, like that are really long and spread out like this. Kind of, there's a thumb and there's 2 fingers, and you can kind of hear the noises. And they wake up and they see that stuff is there. They kind of edit the footage and brighten it up, and they can see the footprints happening. Pretty cool. And then, of course, when she gets drug out into the hallway, that's definitely freaky.
Oh yeah, because he goes chasing her
Yeah.
and like attacks her and like pulls her back into the bedroom where you see them. I'm so sorry.
And at the end of the movie, she gets kind of was she drugged away, or was she just kind of walked downstairs? I forget how it happened, but she's out of there. She's screaming for him.
That's right.
Yeah, she's downstairs and she starts screaming. He comes running downstairs for her, but the camera's still upstairs. And there's paranormal activity happening in our
I
house.
was gonna say, I think our house is haunted. Oh my god. Sorry.
So she's screaming downstairs. He runs downstairs. There's a big ruckus, sounds like, and then all of a sudden everything goes quiet.
Yep.
And then like 30 seconds later, you start hearing the thuds like of something walking up the stairs, and then something comes flying at the camera through the doorway, and it's the guy's body, and she's just standing in the doorway, just like beast mode. And that's like another
Blood all over her shirt.
another 20 seconds or something, and then, you know, jump scare, kind of she flies towards the camera and it blacks out. Pretty cool up until that point. I think I could have done without the whole her flying towards the
Jump scares,
camera type thing. That was kind of cheesy to me. I think that if they would have just cut the feed while she was standing in the doorway, that would have been cooler for me. But
Me too. Can get rid of these hiccups.
sure you can. He's gonna be scared. Like that. Let me know if they're gone. No, they're not. So the whole jump scare thing doesn't work. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to scare you either. There was
Sorry.
one disappointing thing was like this guy is filming them for about a month, and they're still boyfriend girlfriend. They're not married yet. Whatever. They've only been together for like 3 years, and this girl's a prude.
She is. They've been watching like movies for like a month, and they never do it.
They never have like any sort of like
Let's turn the camera off so we can hook up. Nothing.
connections at all. Like not even like the start of something, which is disappointing for that guy, I guess.
Yeah.
If my girlfriend, who I wasn't really attached to, because she was basically just a drain on him.
Oh yeah.
He was a day trader and she was just a student. So she's a student, she's bringing in no income, she's probably costing him money nonstop, and she's got a demon in the house. It's only connected to her.
Yeah, the demon is connected to her. It's not even attached
So
to
I'd be
the
like,
house.
you know
It's
what?
attached to her.
You're not really making this worth my while.
Right. How about you move out?
Time
and
to
take care of
go.
somebody else.
Peace out.
And
Right?
then she kills him at the end. It's
She
like
kills him.
crazy. I know.
Well, the demon might kill him through her, but regardless, she's a vessel
She has a vessel.
that is used to presumably kill him. We don't know that he's dead, but we know that she was never found, as per the text at the end
yeah.
of the movie. Right. Anywho, that's pretty much it. That's Paranormal Activity. I give it I give it an 8.5.
Wow.
I think it's good. It's good for found footage film. It's good for just a regular scary movie. I like paranormal type movies as opposed to just, you know, thrillers, slashers, that sort of things. I like those. I like those and horror comedies more than the rest. But this was still a prime example of the genre. So give it a watch if you haven't watched it before. If you haven't watched it before, what the hell are you watching us for? Because you should know more about horror before tuning into YouTube and looking at horror stuff. But who knows? Some people just be like, oh, that's old. It's before my time. I'll just watch the new one. But
Yeah, we decided just to watch this one to start. We're gonna watch them all.
yeah, this one's
So,
good.
We're gonna see.
We've also been watching Leprechaun, but
Yes.
that's a story for another day. We've got a whole box set that we're
Gonna finish 1st.
we're blasting through.
Very
The
cool.
end. Thanks for watching.
We really appreciate it.
So we'll see you at the next video. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet.
Me either.
Thanks.